nuts and bolts, circuits and smiles. Nuts.
Hi there, Transformers fans, Porchadork here, and I'm doing another video review, and this time I'm doing a review of the Transformers Robots in Disguise Revealers Deluxe Class Ratchet. I'm a big fan of Ratchet, although I found in preparing for this video that I don't have as many toys of Ratchet as I thought I did, but that's neither here nor there. I was very excited to pick this guy up from the Hasbro Toy Shop because Ratchet is the very last Autobot that we need for the core Autobot cast that's been released. So let's go ahead and take a look at the vehicle mode here. Some things to note for the collector. There are some inaccuracies here from the TV show. One, as seems to be common with the RAD toys, the hubcaps here are not painted silver as they should be. Easy enough to fix up with a silver Sharpie. There's some apps missing here on the back, notably the tail lights and some of the details there. And then the piece that bugged me the most that this is missing, and it does have some decent paint apps on it, is the fact that the trademark heart beep icon that we would normally see, it's a continuation of this line here, and it should kind of go across this piece and go back, is not present. And it's kind of iconic for the vehicle mode. It shows up on his forearms in robot mode, and it's totally missing from this piece, which I was kind of disappointed with. But it's got a very nice white to it. It's not quite as like super duper white as as some of the pictures had led it to believe. And actually, even the card art for the toy itself kind of makes the toy look a little bit crappier than it really is. In hand, it's a nice white. This red here is very bright, vibrant, and nice. It's got clear blue windows. No detail painting on the silver for the... There's no silver here for the mirrors, but that's okay. Let me go ahead and bring in a size comparison here. The first one I'm going to bring in here is the Classics or Universe 2.0 Ratchet, who does have the heart beep app here, which I'm talking about, and is missing from this guy. And you can see, to put these guys down like that, you can see some of what some folks have talked about, where the Deluxes seem to just be scaled down a little bit on this line. Ratchet is small. He's not super duper duper small, but you know, he's noticeably smaller than some of the Deluxes we've gotten in the past. So let me pull him out, and I will go ahead and bring in the RID Cliff Jumper for another vehicle comparison. You can see the scale there is not too bad. He is a little bit shorter than Cliff Jumper, but significantly taller, which is how he should be since he's an ambulance. So there's that. Let's go ahead and transform him into robot mode. I know I said I was going to start the transformation, but there is one other piece I wanted to show off real quick here. Ratchet does have some weapon storage, which I have not seen too many people actually notice. If you look underneath here, you can see he has two swords, and these are stored underneath. There's a little tab right here, and then on the sword itself there's a little hole right there that it can peg into, which is pretty neat. And there's one on both sides, and you can take them out. And then one of the other things that I can talk about is Hasbro's love for the like attack mode. So there's a couple holes in here for the fog lights, and you can plug the swords into that, and you can have kind of an attack mode. I like to call this the Stabulance because it's basically, it just turns the ambulance into a giant stabbing device. So yeah. If you use the word Stabulance, that's copyrighted, and you owe me 5 cents. But anyways, really stupid mode. Let me go ahead and pull that out, and we'll start with the transformation. To transform this guy, oh, one other thing I did want to say. Sorry, I keep going into this. There's a break here down in the middle that doesn't seem to line up totally on mine. I don't know if that's exclusive to mine or not, but it is a minor gripe. But anyways, transformation, just kind of snap the figure. And there's some tabs here that hold it together on both sides here, and you just basically kind of crack it down the middle to get those separated. The next thing that you want to do is go ahead and separate the two halves of the car, and then down here we'll flip it upside down, and you want to go ahead and turn these leg pieces down, bring the feet up, and then there's some heel spurs you want to go ahead and bring back. Next thing to do is take these kibble pieces here on the back, and they're on a very unusual hinge. Let me get a close-up here so you can see what I'm talking about. There's basically this hinge right here that's on... I don't even know how to describe this thing. It's a pin joint with a piece of plastic, and it's got kind of some give on the side. The transformation instructions don't do a good idea of showing you how far down this can go, but basically there's some little tabs on the inside, similar to the tabs that stores the weapon, and you just basically pull this whole piece down, and there's a little bit of a gap right here that peg just plugs right into, and that's the leg. Do the same thing on the other side. Bring it down and peg it in. And I will warn you, the first time that you do this, you will swear to God you are going to break this thing. These leg pieces are not very well designed in my opinion, and it feels like you're breaking it when you transform it the first time. I assure you, you are not. The next thing that you want to do is go ahead and transform the arms. So come up here, stick your finger on this little tab right here, and pull that piece down. Do the same thing on both sides. Next, go ahead and kind of loosen up the arms and then pull them up. Same thing on the other side. Pull it up. These are the shoulder pieces, which you can pull down and lock into place. Flip them around. Bring down the arms. Bring down the arms. And then make the side panel, which has done this to me several times. Again, I don't know if this is just mine or a problem with the toy in general, but these panels like to come off like crazy. I can go ahead and get that on there. Anyways, the way the arms transform is you flip out the hand here, and then take these and fold them down, and there's a little tab here piece that locks into place for the arm. Do the same thing on this side. Bring out the hand, lock the arms in place. Kind of a neat transformation for the arms. Kind of like it. And then the last part is, of course, if you've seen my other reviews and you know this is a revealer, you pull the head back, or the back, and the head pops up. And there is Ratchet in his robot mode. I don't know if I really like this figure or not. I mean, it's Ratchet, so I think I'm probably being a little more picky. I'm a big fan of Jeffrey Combs, who's his voice actor on the show, so, I mean, he's got that going for him. The head sculpt, I don't know. It's definitely Ratchet, but there's just something a little off about it. Let me bring it in even closer so you can get a good, nice close-up of the head sculpt. It's got the lines running down, you know, the side of from his eyes to his mouth. It's got the visor. These pieces here on the side, there's an extra antenna that's not painted red. One of the things the card art shows that is actually not true of the figure is this blue here is painted on the final figure. This isn't something I added. On the box art, it doesn't show that painted. But you can see evidence here of basically the false transformation. I mean, these are supposed to be the car doors, and clearly they're not because the car doors are right there. So the toy pretty much fakes almost everything about the transformation, but overall, it's not too bad of a figure. Posability is pretty good. The arms can go out to the side. You can bend here. They turn. The hand can go up and down. The legs have decent movement. That's about as far back as they can go, although this knee piece here has kind of a double joint on it that lets you get a little bit more movement out of it. And you typically have these pronounced a little more on the show than they are on the toy, but the feet just go up and down. There's no pivot or anything on them because of the transformation. And then the head is on a ball joint, although it can only turn about that far because of the automorph transformation. It doesn't really go back too far, but that's okay. And then the last thing that I can show you is the feature with the weapons. So he has two swords. He can either hold them in his hands, or as the instructions show you, you can fold his hand down, take the sword, and plug it in place so that it looks like it is transformed as part of his arm, which is kind of cool. Actually, I think I might have the wrong sword here. Hold on. Yeah, that fits a little bit better. So, kind of has the half-transformed hand sword mode, and you can do that with both arms and both swords. And he gives him kind of the double-sworded look that I think he used when he backed up Optimus Prime in maybe the second or third episode of the series. I don't remember which one. But he's a pretty nice figure. When he has his swords here, he can't be the Stabulance, but what can you do? For some size comparisons, let me go ahead and bring in the first edition Optimus Prime figure. And you can see he's significantly smaller than Optimus Prime, which he should be in the show, but this does highlight the fact that he is probably a little bit shorter in scale than he should be. I think this toy probably should get a Voyager to be perfect, but I don't know if that'll happen. He's a pretty popular character, so it could. Fingers crossed. Let me take Optimus out, and I will bring in another first edition. This is the first edition RC. And you can see kind of the comparison there. RC's taller, which obviously is not how it should be. However, let me go ahead and grab first edition Cliff Jumper and bring him in. And you can see Ratchet is a little bit taller than the first edition Cliff Jumper, just a little bit. Scale-wise, I would say the RID line scales pretty well, but if you try to match it in with any of the first edition figures, you will run into problems. I have Ratchet with a mixture of the RID and with the first edition figures, and I think he does pretty well. Again, the toy's not perfect. It cheats everywhere. It's missing some paint apps, and the legs are a little off. I'm not a fan of these legs, but it's not as bad as some of the pictures have made it out to be. And his deco's not as bad as it's been made out to be. Even on his own card art, it's just not fair. The only real big deco that bothers me is his little heartbeat emblem is missing here from the arms. Actually, I believe it'd be right here. But other than that, like I said, it's a great figure. I think for 12 bucks, it's a steal. And I will say, at the time of this filming, we thought we were going to be getting a Takara version of this, possibly with some better deco, and a ARMS Micron figure. And it was announced today that basically the decos on all of the Takara edition versions of these figures is probably going to be inferior to the Hasbro ones because they're trying to save money. And most of the details will be done with stickers, and the Microns, you have to like put them together yourself, and it's not looking good for getting the Takara versions of these anytime soon. So I would say if you want a more accurate deco, run out and pick this guy up, because the Takara one is not going to be much better. So anyways, that's been my review of Ratchet. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later.
Robots